what do you make of all the fake news that is affecting?
If you don't read the newspaper, you're uninformed. If you do read it, you're misinformed.
So what do you do?
That's a great question. What is the long-term effect of too much information?
Hey everyone, welcome once again to yet another spectacular, stellar, and superb episode of Two Noobs Talking. It's episode 56. And as always with me is my good buddy John Tracy. John, how you doing tonight, man?
I am great. How are you, Matt?
I am doing good, thanks. Of course, I'm Matt Craig, happy to be along for the ride. And John, you know, as we hit 56, I mean, pretty significant number in the history of Philadelphia sports, right? Who wore that number?
It popped up immediately when we were like, oh, it's 56, so it's Byron Evans.
Yeah. So I have a great story to tell in that regard. I was very fortunate. I was at Temple University back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And so this was in the mid to late 90s. So the vet was up. And before it wasn't even, you know, it was demolished for a parking lot. But had an opportunity to be at Temple University's marching band playing the trumpet. And we were slated to play in a Monday Night Football game. It was the Eagles against the Houston Oilers, now the Tennessee Titans. And we were the halftime entertainment show. So we had the opportunity to go down there. That was really, really exciting. We were on the field and a whole bit. And I remember seeing Byron Evans. And John, he was 6'4", probably about 240 pounds of lean, rock hard muscle. And it was like, you don't want to get into a fight with Byron Evans.
He was
He was a bad man, let me tell you. I'm looking up at him and I'm like, no, thank you.
Prototypical
The whole like that, But that was great, and we were actually coming off the field, and Andy Harmon, who also played for the Eagles, great defensive tackle.
91. We'll get him on the 91 episode.
We'll have him on the 91 episode, and he was kind of bending over to kind of stretch out his hamstrings, groin area, whatever, and as we're coming off the field, we're doing the high steps, and my buddy who's like coming right up to Andy Harmon, he's just like, I'm not going to knee him right in the head. So he starts to. It's like smart.
Start walking.
Yeah, exactly. You're the one that's going to get hurt. It's like he's not going to hurt you. You're going to end up hurt. That kind of deal. So
that's what's called critical thinking, right? Right there is critical thinking. If anybody needs a definition, right there. It's I'm in a marching band. Am I going to knee a defensive tackle, or am I going to not?
The most important defensive position, right? Oh my gosh! But then we also had one of your favorite pitchers.
Oh, Fat Joe Blanton. Oh yeah, I love Fat Joe Blanton.
Heck yeah!
I love Joe Blanton in so many ways. I should just send Joe Blanton a Valentine's Day card every year. Like that's how much I was the one Phillies fan that was so mad when Philly media was like 4 aces and Joe Blanton.
Mm-hmm.
I used to throw fits on Facebook. Respect that man. Like, well, he not that it means everything for his career, but he hit a home run in the World Series run and hadn't hit one since high school.
Well, the one thing that if they're going to go to that universal DH.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that.
That's the one thing you miss.
Infamy.
That's the one thing you miss.
Yeah.
Joe Blanton closes his eyes and hits a home run in LA.
Swings really hard.
It's everybody remembers it. It's incredible. But no, Joe Blanton just is. I remember him a couple years ago with the Nationals after his Philly run.
Oh yeah.
Just a serviceable pitcher. I just love Joe Blanton. I just have love for Joe Blanton. So.
He was cheered. I'll never forget that when he was coming back off. Everybody had mad respect for him. I mean,
how can you not like Joe Blanton? That's my question.
Yeah, exactly.
So from the Athletics all the way to the end of his career, how can you not like Joe Blanton?
Then we also have had a non-Philly player that is synonymous with the NFC East back in the
best
90s. The best linebacker, Lawrence Taylor. I remember watching him, and it was like you had to block him. You had to.
9 guys.
Exactly. Because he was going to kill your quarterback.
He's a bad man.
He's a bad man. And it's like, I have a friend of mine who's a Giants fan in the company I work for, and he missed LT.
Oh.
You would have loved him. You would have
Yeah.
absolutely loved him as being as a Giants guy.
How are you even a Giants fan if you missed LT?
Oh my God! Well, he's not young. That's the thing. He wasn't in the
Man.
80s.
Yeah, he needs to get on YouTube immediately.
Yeah, exactly. And just
Watch that man
him
play for a
It's
year.
Like, oh my gosh! Yeah,
He was so good.
yeah, scary. Just scary.
LT is so good. I'm judgmental to linebackers because I saw him play. If that makes any sense, like
Totally.
because LT could do it. Like, why can't he? Like,
He literally took over a game on Thanksgiving against Detroit. This is like in the early 80s, 81, 82 or something like that. He practically like took over the game, and he was playing hurt. Like he had a strip sack and a fumble and a return for a touchdown, and
that was just his blitzing ability.
Yeah.
The fact that no tight end existed in the NFC East, like
That
for
could
the time
handle
that he
him?
played, made sense too because he could run with everybody.
yeah,
He had good hands. He had good
he had
awareness.
phenomenal hands. Yeah,
He was just great.
yeah, he was a great player. Yeah, Canton bound, of course, but yeah, he was just one of the all-time.
If you don't know who Lawrence Taylor is, think about Deion Sanders as a linebacker, a big linebacker
Great analogy. Yeah.
that could run with
But
Deion
you had to
Sanders.
account for him. You had to account for him on that defensive line. And the fact that, he was that hybrid, that prototypical stand-up rusher that really was the default edge rusher in the NFL. Now, it's like everybody's looking for that next Lawrence Taylor because of what he could bring.
He created a whole
Outside
position.
linebacker. That was the thing that really blew everybody's mind. Yeah.
He's the reason Brandon Graham
Yeah,
got drafted
exactly.
because they needed that linebacker-esque edge rusher, to be his way. I mean, his weight is synonymous to what the edge rushers are now. Like Lawrence Taylor is the prototypical NFL edge rusher now. That's when you're that good. Like Deion is the shutdown corner. Darius Slay exists because Deion played.
Because of Deion?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah.
You transcend the Hall of Fame at that point.
It really is amazing. Yeah, to be that talented. Yeah, exactly.
He transcends the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, John, let's move on to topic one here. And this is admittedly going to be a really tough leadoff here. We probably have the most stupid, racist-filled
Ignorant.
article here.
Big time ignorance.
And this is from a sports media website, Deadspin.com. Headline, Kyrie Irving and Dave Chappelle, ? Are being used as black pawns on a white chessboard.
Oh, man.
Ay.
Good job, Deadspin. Just keep that going. That black people and white people don't get along. Just keep it going. You're good. You're so good at it, just passing the buck.
When you texted this to me, John, I was like, and I read through it. I was like, where is this coming from?
I'm just gonna make this statement, and racists can totally tell me I'm wrong. It's fine. Racists can totally just come at me for this comment. It has nothing to do with black and white. I watched a Sixers Brooklyn Nets game in Louisiana with 3 dudes that work for a construction company that you don't need to know their race. All 4 of us said the same thing. Really fucking sucks that Kyrie Irving isn't playing because of dumb shit that is happening between New York government and the NBA because the NBA won't fight back because they're a bunch of sissies.
Yeah.
That's the sentiment.
That's the right argument. Yeah, right.
That's not. There's nothing race has to do with any of that.
Exactly.
The NBA is. I mean, just look at the commissioner.
Yeah.
David Stern wouldn't stand for that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
He wouldn't stand for local municipality running roughshod.
Mm-hmm.
De Blasio's an asshole, and that's what's putting this out. But Deadspin wants to run a shine on. Oh, it's racist. He's being used as a pawn.
As a pawn?
He's standing up to an asshole mayor is what he's doing.
Yeah. It's like I couldn't believe what I was reading because it literally was like tainted with so much racism. It's like so much has been made about like the white and the black issue, of course, over the years in this country. And rightfully so. We had a civil war that happened in the 1860s and it essentially ended slavery.
It's an easy talking point if you went to it went to ninth grade history.
Yeah.
It's for the dumb people. It's an easy talking point.
It
you
is.
can make anything black and white. You really can.
It really is. It is also gaslighting towards the end. It really is amazing because it's just nothing but gaslighting at the end, where basically it's like, well, this guy just summarizes Kyrie Irving's plot of saying like, well, he's being manipulated by 5 Republicans. None of them are being listed, of course, in terms of what their policies have been made, even though the author insinuates that they're all racist.
Yeah.
Just for the fact that they have a political party. And I'm thinking like, a good author would have something to back this up rather than just make
like a poll quote,
accusation.
Maybe like a poll quote. Maybe just something Ted Cruz said, or something. I don't even know.
Or a tweet or something like that. Come on.
Maybe a tweet. Yeah, maybe a.
Yeah, and then to throw in Chappelle, which is like Chappelle is a comedian, and I get. Listen,
that makes no sense because that's a whole nother.
Yeah.
Do I agree with Dave Chappelle said? Probably not. That's a little too insensitive for my liking.
Sure.
But freedom of speech says he can say he's a comedian. He can say whatever the fuck he wants. I'm not going to watch it.
And newsflash, he's always been edgy. He's been an edgy comic. That's his gimmick. That's his stick.
Yeah.
Really. And it's like, you have that on,
like all popular comedians. Carlin was edgy.
Yeah. Exactly. George Carlin was a great example.
What's the short guy's name? Everybody likes him. Kevin Hart, the short guy.
Kevin Hart?
He's edgy as hell.
Oh, heck yeah.
When it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah.
George
Carlin
Chris
was
Rock.
one.
Yeah, Chris Rock. Jerry Seinfeld is edgy as hell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But they get over because it's like because there's element of truth. Whenever you have a really good comedian,
there is the element of truth.
There is a little bit of element of truth in there.
You know what there is no element of truth of? This asshole's article.
Yeah.
Anybody that has a brain or doesn't have a brain, read this. And then go find, if you don't have a brain, go find someone with a brain and have a conversation.
They'll talk to you.
This is a piece of shit, is what this is.
I think one of my favorites, I'll have to see if I can find it here really quickly. You had a great pull quote in here, Johnny, where it was just so, like, talking about narcissism.
Awful.
Yeah. I'm trying to locate it like right now, but yeah. Oh yeah. This is what happens when you think you're always the smartest person in the room, when you're actually just a narcissist that surrounds himself with idiots.
So Kyrie Irving. So he's pointing out Kyrie Irving, right? Yeah. Kyrie Irving didn't consult anybody but himself and the people around him.
Yeah.
And he said, Kyrie Irving, and I will quote him, he did talk to his doctor. He did talk to his significant other. He did talk to people that he trusted around him. So what you're just insinuating, if you're a high profile person, you're just a narcissist, glad-handing piece of shit. That shows, you know what that is? That's projecting, because that's what that dude is who wrote this article.
Oh, no question.
Glad-handing piece of shit. That's what you are.
This, no question, is a guy that is, in fact, a narcissist that is pushing his own agenda, pushing his own, I'm going to contribute to the quota that's being out there, that 70% of the American population has to be jabbed. Whatever. There's no question there is, and it's meant to gaslight and get people upset. So.
And it did. And it totally got us upset. But you know what? Fuck him. We didn't say his name.
But we're laughing about it now because it's like, it's so ridiculous at the time.
But still, fuck him.
Exactly. Avoid it, really. I mean, this does not help.
It's unreadable garbage. And that's
it is. Yeah. Yeah. And really, the guy should go to training to learn how to become a human being. Yeah.
You might, or learn how to write.
Or learn how to write.
Maybe go back to college, you moron.
Exactly. Well, Johnny, I can't believe
college might teach you
but it's now the third week in a row where we got another one of our famous Fab Five updates. And
hopefully that gets edited out.
The dynamic duo, the doofuses, Dumb and Dumber, whatever you want to call them, fill in the blanks.
This makes my heart happy.
Andrew and Chris Cuomo, which I'm going to call Dumb and Dumber. And you can fill in the blanks of whoever you want to put in there. But Andrew, let's lead off with the former governor of New York.
Ex-governor, former governor, piece of shit. I mean, whatever you want to call him, it doesn't matter.
Officially charged over alleged groping of a former aide, John.
So Cuomo's finally going to get what he wants. He wants some touching, and then he's going to get some. He's going to get some click behind his back. He's going to get some touching, all right.
Yeah, exactly.
Have fun in county, asshole.
Oh,
This is what makes him, this is just, I like to stamp things because we talk about things and I run my stupid mouth about stuff, but I like to cash receipts when I do that. This is absolutely cashing a receipt. This not only leaves office, he's still touching titties.
Yeah.
He still doesn't get it.
No. Oh,
He resigned for this. And he's like, oh, I'll just go for it. Why not? Now, you know what? And she's doing the right thing. She is
going right for it.
throwing charges on him, and he deserves every bit of this.
Yeah, is that now the 13th woman that's
It's probably the 154th. We just can't keep up.
Yeah.
Groping son of a bitch. He needs to go to jail.
He does. Yeah, in fact, actually, the charges actually do carry a maximum sentence of 1 year.
Good.
Now, to me, I think that's a little bit too low. I think you got to go in 5 years.
We're always about upping the penalties, though.
I would love to up the penalty on this pervert. Are you kidding me? I mean, this is
ridiculous. He's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You resign. You literally resign for sexual assault, and then you sexually assault somebody. You're that like he needs help.
Yeah.
Which is a padded cell.
It was a padded cell and a straitjacket. No question. Yeah, no question about it.
And hopefully it gets beat regularly by somebody.
Well, yeah, especially you got to watch out in the shower, Johnny. You know what I'm saying? Don't bend over.
Don't drop the soap there, Cuomo. Or drop the soap because you might like it, you
might like
dumbass.
it. But then we also have Chris. Now, John,
This guy.
we famously made fun of Chris Cuomo in a great Stop the Tape segment.
I want to fight this guy. I tell
And
you.
I know you want to, like, for charity, which I would pay pay-per-view money.
I want to physically fight this gentleman. He's not even a gentleman. I want to fight this scoundrel.
Yeah. I mean, covering up? What was it? I mean, covering.
He didn't say a word. They literally, his show, you read the article, it's hilarious.
Yeah,
They literally, the minute it breaks, his show's like going on and like 3 hours later, he just doesn't say, like, he goes to everything but the fact that his brother,
Yeah.
you know, because he doesn't like to, I don't like to mix my brother with the news. Your brother's all over the news, you
Your
idiot.
brother's all over the news. Exactly. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
my question, and the reason I bring this up, so there is the Fab Five. I do have things behind the scenes that I wanna ask Matt without telling him. I want to ask him. So Chris Cuomo covering this up when it's that obvious.
Mhm.
My question is, how much has Chris Cuomo covered up for his brother at CNN throughout the time?
Throughout the time. That's an independent investigation as far as I'm concerned.
If he's openly doing it now when all eyes are on him, what was he doing before?
Oh, no question. Yeah. And it always makes me wonder why, like, and it seems to be on the Democrat side. Now, I should also mention this too. Fox News has its own Republican side as well.
Absolutely.
But it kind of it begs the question, if we want the media to be reformed, which it should be, we have to get to a point where we can't allow operatives from either party to infiltrate the media and to essentially taint their own side of the news to their bent, essentially.
No, that's
the
all
news
saying
has to come to us and say, this is what happened. Who, what, where, why, and how. That should be the questions that the media should always answer or present.
Understood.
You know, but when you have an operative like a Chris Cuomo, like a Dan Bongino, like a Sean Hannity come in on their own cable and have their own way of bent, that's an issue to me. I think that's where a lot of people are getting more and more frustrated with the media, why the media continues to tank in the polls. Because they're not doing the questions that I'm asking.
There's not enough investigation. But
yeah,
maybe we as the people need to investigate it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's my whole point is that you can't trust the media.
Yeah. And I think it's because of the operatives. That's what I'm saying.
Yes. Yeah, no, absolutely. You're 100% right.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris Cuomo is one of them. So that's how bad is Andrew? Probably worse than we know.
Yeah. Who's to say that this is not going? I mean, this just came out within the last, like these 12 women, he was in office, John, for decades. I mean, this was it was pretty quiet up there in New York for years.
He was before Trump. He was in the Obama administration, correct?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. He was in I believe he was in his third consecutive term up there.
Yeah, so that was his that would have been his last term,
Which
correct?
would have been his last, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he went through 4 years of Trump. So he got elected during the Obama administration. So he did his 12 years.
Yeah. Well, and that's the question. How long did this continue to go on?
It's close. So he was Obama and Trump.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long time.
It is.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he was there that long. I just thought he was a scumbag and he slid in at some point.
Yeah. I
really didn't know that much about him, like background of political.
I think that's what happened. Yeah. It's at least, it had to have been like, like I said, it was like his third consecutive term. I think that it's 4 years as well.
I think so. Yeah. I think governors are 4 years.
Yeah.
How long did Edward Adele ruin our lives? 8 years?
I want to say 8. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to say 8 because
sorry to take shots at that. I know he's ill, and I don't.
Came after Ridge. That would have been 8 years. Yeah, and then Corbett was 09. Yeah, so that would have been
makes sense. No, I know he's ill, and I wish him and his family nothing but the best. But he was a terrible governor.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, John, now we've gotten Fab Five out of the way. Let's do some celebrating here. Topic 3.
This is interesting.
Very. Florida
really
got a lot of heat, obviously. We went through, I think it was a few weeks ago, they had the 901 cases or 901 deaths in one day, and they all thought, oh my God, this is terrible. Well, Breitbart article here, Florida tied for the lowest daily coronavirus cases per capita in the U.S.
Which is extremely interesting when we dug into this, because at face, you're just going to see it as a headline, but they're dead serious.
Yeah.
They're at an all-time low, and it seems like Texas is a little bit like 2 weeks behind. Like Texas started doing stuff about 2 weeks after Florida did. I'm hoping to see that article come out that it's starting to dissipate like this. Like COVID's not even a thing in Florida per this study.
Yeah, Breitbart quotes basically that both Florida and Hawaii are reporting, now get this, 9 daily average cases per 100,000. I mean, that's minuscule, John.
Let's just do some math here. So 100,000, right?
Yeah.
I know it's hard for both of us because we don't know anything about it. So let's just say, we got 100,000.
We're going to have Steve audit this. We're going to have Steve audit this numbers.
But I think I'm right on this. Matt, you're going to do this math. It might be hard, but so 100,000.
Yeah.
So how many 100,000 go into a million?
Well, that's 10% of 1 million.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so 9 times 10 is
90.
So for a million.
Yeah, it's not much. It's really not that
90
much.
cases per a million.
Yeah.
What's the population in Florida? It's probably 15 million.
Yeah.
You see how we're doing this?
Yeah.
Very small.
It's really tiny. Yeah. I mean, it's remarkable. Now, Breitbart, I think, here, I go back to what I was saying before with the media. Breitbart is the conservative bent. They cannot poke fun of the blue states because they also list Gretchen Whitmer, our girl up there.
Yeah.
Dig up stupid, 38 cases per 100,000.
Which is great.
But yeah, my boy up here, Tom Wolfe, 30 cases per 100,000. Kathy Hochul, 19 per 100,000. So, and then you have J.B. Pritzker, who I think is in Washington, D.C., 17 per 100,000. Bottom line is cases are down. Cases are down in some of the metropolitan.
I think what we should present either in the show notes or on the screen here, it's through edits, of course. We're not Houdini. We can't make things happen. But even just a list of that, because that's amazing how you're talking less than 1,000 per 100,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's epically better than we've ever been.
Yeah. So then the question is, because again, we always have to go back to this, Johnny. How is it so low in Florida? What are they doing down there that has made this such a remarkable feat? And what is Hawaii doing? Well, I think there are a couple of reasons. One, yeah, vaccines. The older population down there, they've gotten vaccinated.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But then there's also a thing called natural immunity.
Yes.
We've argued before in the past. So
yes.
One or the other or both are happening.
The more people that get it, whether it's a vaccine or get it and get over it, the more you live your life and you're not being locked down, because that was the key to it staying around for so long, was if you're in your house for 9 months to 6 months, you know, not doing anything and not being immune compromised. So when you went back to work, then you got it, and then the cases went up again.
Yep.
That you don't need to be a scientist for that. It's very simply, if you stay indoors for 6 months while everybody else is getting sick and getting immune, when you go outside, you're going to get sick and then you're going to get immune. But what's going to happen is that part of society that didn't leave is going to raise the cases, and then they're going to low again. But then you're going to reach what literally, what the hell's his name? The one I like that picks on Fauci all the time. Rand Paul.
Rand Paul, yeah.
Talking about herd immunity for 6 months.
Yeah.
He's right.
Yeah.
P.S. He's a medical doctor. He knows what he's talking about.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Now, it's interesting because it's like, I remember the early days of the pandemic, we did not know what this virus was.
No.
And the debate of like shutting the whole country down for, you know.
It made sense.
It did. I think at some point it did. You know, and I'm thinking like
anybody to die. Nobody wants anybody to get
no.
sick. And when you're promoting this, and this is how they were promoting it. They were promoting it that people were dying in the streets in China.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like literally, this was promoted as this was going to kill a third of our population.
Yeah.
You're damn right you locked down at that point.
Yeah, oh sure.
But that fizzled pretty quickly.
It sure did. Yeah, I think it was the IHME study in Washington State famously predicted that I think there was going to be over 1 million Americans dead within like 4 or 5 months.
And nobody wanted that.
And no one wanted that.
So but we learned that study was dog shit.
Yeah.
Very
after a
shortly
while.
after.
Yeah.
But
that was the thing. It's like a lot of the governors kind of, I think, based their
absolutely
around that.
But we're now learning that China lied to us 1 million times about it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't even blame the university. You can't even blame the governors. You can't blame the doctors. You can't blame people. You can't blame it because there was misinformation from the beginning, and what led us to where we're at.
No doubt.
But now, there's plenty of information out there. So.
I made this point with a friend of mine. We were walking up to the bar today, you know, just to hang out. And he was just like, oh, well, we're still in a pandemic. I said, no. We have the vaccines. We have the therapeutic drugs. We're fine.
Yeah, I'm not in a pandemic.
We're not in a pandemic now. Like, a pandemic is like we have a novel virus. We don't know what's going on. We now know what's happening. We have vaccines. We have drugs that fight this thing. We're not in a pandemic now. It's like we've got everything under control. It's better now compared to what it was.
Oh, absolutely. But the CDC is the only one that won't take us out of it.
They make up all kinds of stuff with the significant spread and all that kind of stuff, which is like, it's so weird. It's like, it's not even.
But the CDC is doing what the CDC's always done.
Oh, being a corrupt organization? Yeah.
Yeah. That's just doing what they've always done.
Mm-hmm.
We've had this up. Let's just quote it. Let's quote John again here. We'll just John quote up here. Why are they called the Centers of Disease Control? And then they add
prevention.
And then they added prevention. Wouldn't it just be the Center of Disease Prevention if you were trying hard?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's all in the logo and naming. I'm just saying.
Exactly. All in the branding. Exactly.
I'm not that smart, so
exactly.
Please.
So some good news, but yeah, some good news to report there. Definitely
amazing news. I love the fact that even Democratic states, which the right wing likes to throw on. Oh, Democrats are never going to go. I refuse to move back to PA because I don't trust them. But they're doing well. Yeah. Not the people in PA. I'm talking about the leadership of government.
Just remember, And just remember this too. In last episode, episode 55, I threw up that graph, and you could see we are definitely trending down, as opposed to last year, where we were trending up.
Yes.
So
Check us out on 55.
no doubt.
Brandon Graham episode.
I love it. I love it. It was all the new format. It was great. I would love
That
that.
was great. Dude, you're an amazing job. Matt does an amazing. Everybody give him a round of applause.
Hey,
The work he does in editing, we need to, in the middle of the show, give
There you
him
go.
his love.
well, John, let's move on. We got a fourth topic here, and you brought this to my attention.
This one
great
is
one.
weird. I love the balls of this kid.
No
I
doubt.
really like. He's like my spirit animal when it comes to child labor and sex trafficking and all that. I like what he's doing here. He's
Nope.
challenging the right people.
No doubt. Enes Canter, Celtics player, Boston Celtics, doubling down on accusing Nike of using slave labor from China
Yep.
to make shoes. And in the article, which is a Fox Business article, he basically challenges MJ, LeBron, and Phil Knight to hop on the charter jet. Let's fly over to China and check out what the heck's going on there.
I'm for the best part about it is he is so smart that he doesn't ask them
Yeah.
to do it alone. He's not placating. He's literally like, yo, I got you covered. Your travel. You don't need to do it. You don't need to spend no money. You don't need to do anything. I will fly you over there personally
Yeah.
and show you all this. I like the balls of him.
Yep.
We all know this shit happens in China.
Yeah.
We all know it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Just
time
because,
that they.
just because the news doesn't want to cover it, there is child labor there. There is bad stuff going there. There is a lot. They're communists. They're
Yeah.
not doing nice things to people.
Mm-hmm.
But I like his. I honestly hope that at least one of them,
I would love for MJ to go over there, honestly.
because NJ and LeBron, even more than Phil Knight, because Phil Knight might be a lost cause.
It could
You know
be.
what I mean? He might be a lost cause. He might be old guard, but a guy like MJ or a guy like LeBron could make a difference if they did go over there,
Yeah.
or at least did some investigation on their own and ripped away from Nike. I know that's a huge paycheck to rip away from.
I was just going to say.
It's a
That's
huge
the
paycheck
thing.
to rip
We're
away
talking thousands, if not millions of zeros here.
from. But if you want to make a difference,
Mm-hmm.
make a
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
After reading what the research that he did
Mhm.
and seeing that MJ or LeBron or Phil Knight have not responded to it, I don't think I'm going to buy Nike products at this
No.
point, because it doesn't seem like they run a nice organization.
No. And
And
I
I
think
would-
this has been going on for decades, I think, to your point.
I think so. I think
think so.
we're so blind to the eye.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I
But
mean,
we all got to make personal stands. And I'm not going to sit there and run around, if I see my friend wearing a Nike, I'm not going to be like, you
support this and how dare you support that.
exactly. But
yeah.
we all have to take personal accountability. And if I'm going to sit here running my mouth saying that I don't like what China does, and this dude is literally pointing an arrow into China,
Mhm.
I'm probably not going to buy Nike
Yeah.
because I don't agree with it.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's all about personal responsibility, and that's
Exactly.
I like what he did.
Oh yeah, I think he's basically saying there's rumors about this,
Yes.
and essentially like Phil Knight and co. No, we don't do that. We don't. If we did, we would shut everything down. We'd move everything
No, they
away.
wouldn't.
And Enes is like, no, but here's the thing. Cantor is saying, okay, I'm going to call your bluff.
Yeah.
Let's
He's
hop
right.
on a charter jet. Let's head on over there. Let's and if I'm wrong, and I'll take the blame.
But that's what I'm saying. The way he points the arrow perfectly,
Mm-hmm.
did his research before he spoke.
Yeah.
You can't deny that there's something going on there.
Yeah.
And if you're uncomfortable with it, like I said,
Mhm.
make a personal choice and boycott it.
And boycott it. Yeah. Or sign with another shoe company or do whatever. Yeah, do
I'm
whatever.
sure,
they can.
I'm sure LeBron James and Michael Jordan could find a company that
Hmm.
would make them a shoe suitable to Nike that isn't hooked up in all this bullshit.
I almost thought
I'm
like
pretty
Converse.
sure pretty sure there is a young man or woman that
Hmm.
could probably take MJ's money and turn it into something even better.
Yeah.
But if you just want to suck on the corporate wiener, go ahead. And that's what LeBron and Mike do.
Yeah.
And if they want to continue to do it, do it.
Yeah.
If you disagree with it, don't buy their shit.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
It's that simple. Yeah.
You can fix it really quickly.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to think, like, the second best one would probably be Reebok, and I'm not sure where Reebok is at this point.
Well, if Cancer starts yelling about them, we'll know where they are.
I guess.
Reebok, I've always been a fan of Reebok. I don't know if they, but who knows? You don't know. With that kind of mass production, you don't know.
Yeah. That's the thing. And a lot
Everybody
of the
acting like Kathy Lee Griffin out here.
Yeah, I was just going to say, John,
Children labor.
I was just going to like make mention of this too. A lot of the mass production seems to be Vietnam, China, Taiwan. How often is this going around? You know what I mean? Like all these,
could be everything.
Cheap labor, yeah, that kind of it.
I'm not going to be naked. That's all I'm saying. Like I'm not going to go that far.
Exactly.
Nobody needs to see that.
No.
I will
not this podcast.
My own clothes, or I will find somebody. I'm not boycotting that deep. All I'm saying.
Exactly.
Like, I can't just.
Well, moving on from that, let's just quick turn that page.
We needed some comedy there.
Exactly. Our fifth topic, and we got 5 of 6 here, so this is really interesting. This is more of the education side of things, and there are 2 articles here that we're going to talk about. One of them is the Ohio School Boards Association. You're thinking like, Ohio School Boards Association.
There's one other. We just couldn't find out who it was.
Yeah.
Close to, I don't know. If we find it, we'll throw it in the show notes. If we don't find it, oh well, you can find it yourself because you guys are critically thinking.
And, yeah, I was just going to say, Johnny,
two of them walked away. Yeah, 2 of them
walking away from the the National School Board Association,
which is good because they're corrupt as shit.
Oh, 100%. And the reason why
children.
And the reason why they're doing it is all because of the new Attorney General, Merrick Garland, sent out a note saying, hey, all these parents out there protesting critical race theory and these school boards, we should really investigate them for being domestic terrorists. And I'm thinking, what the heck? John, of the 2 of us, obviously, I am single, still looking for my soulmate. You have found your soulmate. You have a couple of kids.
Just a few. Some of them are making me Nikes in the bedroom.
Your thoughts on being branded a domestic terrorist by Merrick Garland, standing up for what's right in the school board, there, pal.
I don't take any of that serious, especially that Attorney General. Just do your Wikipedia background check on him. You don't even
just FYI, he was like 1 step away from the Supreme Court. Oh my God.
You don't actually need to do any work. He's a scumbag. Just that on face, he's a scumbag. He's not even a hidden scumbag like Biden. He's just a flat out scumbag.
Yeah.
No, but this is a lost art in the world. I remember my parents, and I'm sure your parents, and I'm sure Amber's parents, and I'm sure most of our listeners' parents, if you're our age, if you're over 40 or your 30s, late 30s, early 40s, your parents were a part of the PTO. They went to the school board.
Absolutely.
They did those things. I don't think, as a parent, I never went to any of these at all because they kind of eliminated them from the ability to go with the charter schools and those kind of things because they were all closed door meetings. Like you couldn't go to a public school and that's where it kind of got lost. And then just recently we found out that you can get, they're elected officials, so you can go wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
But there are differences between the schools, the private schools, pro-career schools, charter schools, and public schools are different.
Oh, yeah.
You can't just rush up on certain schools. But public school, you absolutely can. And maybe that's why I don't know anything about it, because my kids aren't in public school. So that's probably why I never went to any of it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Because it's handled by a CEO.
Yeah.
But I can see why parents would want to know, especially with the stuff that's happening 50 miles from where I'm at. They were teaching anal sex to 5th graders.
Oh, for God's sakes.
I can't remember what town it was. It was a cartoon book given out or something like that. and they were protesting, and damn right they should protest.
Damn right they should protest that.
I know my coworker is going, same reason he's been going to San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
He lives right outside of San Antonio. He's been going to town meetings and everything, and they're getting nervous about him because he doesn't want them teaching dumb shit.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So there's a movement. There's definitely a movement.
There's definitely
going
movement.
on.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, and I've seen the articles, of course, like with London County in Virginia. My God, it seems like every day there's something wrong in that school district. Every single day.
How ridiculous does that governor look?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, and that, let me tell you something, that is you want to talk contentious election, I think there is going to be a red wave there. I think there's no question.
I think so too.
When you have...
Bro, you are this close to being in the Fab Five. You are that slimy.
And when you openly say, I do not want parents in the school, I'm sorry, dude. That automatically should disqualify you from public office.
He's not going to get elected again.
No. I would hope not.
We'll cover him more if people are interested in that. I'm sure we're all interested.
Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah.
We'll cover a little bit.
Comeback he is. But yeah, it's like,
yeah,
Johnny.
He's bad.
I mean, it really is amazing. I remember like being young and like, they would have back to school nights, of course, like at the
still happens. Yeah, still happens.
Or there would be a parent teacher conference, that kind of a deal. And every once in a while the ball would be dropped. Like if I didn't turn in a homework assignment on time, it wasn't told until the end of the year, until my mom found out about it and was like, what the heck? It's like, why didn't you tell me this earlier? That kind of a deal.
That was like the accountability. Like, it falls off here, but yeah.
But
we still get, we do, although it's Zoom, we do, with the little one, we do quarterly meeting with the teacher, and that seems to go well. And it seems like the school he's going to seems to understand what's going on.
Kind of like what's happening. Mm-hmm.
I definitely know with most parents that I know that does happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's just different than it was. But I think totally I would be one to go up into the school board if I felt something was going wrong. And I totally support all parents to do that.
Yes. And I think that's our message here. Yeah.
Yeah. Even further, there are meetings with the commissioners, and we actually have an election coming up November 2nd here that we're going to, that it's like 8 things to redo the Texas Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple pandemic things on there that definitely religious exemptions and stuff that I definitely want to go vote yes, because I want to, I support everybody to get out and vote all the time. But that's also a form of voting. You can go to these planning hearings. You can go, everything is open to the public. And that's what I'm trying to explain. You can go there and put your displeasure out.
And I think that's
you might not get something done, but you can definitely go and voice your displeasure.
Exactly. And I think and again, we've seen examples, we've shared them on this podcast, of people that are rightly it just makes me wonder, have there been like assaults, fights? Yes, we've seen that, but we've also seen people done the honorable thing, present beautiful cases of saying like, look it, dude, like talking to the school board, you don't need to go here.
Yes.
It's my job to teach the morals. It's your job to teach math and science. That's what you're supposed to do.
I think that's the moral of the story, right?
And that's the moral of the story. Yeah. Yeah. It's like,
I really do.
Yeah. And it's encouraging to see all of it. At the same time, it's like, I can't even imagine having to go through something like that where you don't know. And especially like if they're bringing in something that you disagree with and it will divide rather than unite people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No. And then this was also very interesting too, because this is kind of related to the 5th topic. We've got college enrollment, Johnny.
This is it. You brought this to me like right out of like just talking about school in general. This was a great find by you.
Yeah.
The enrollment being down this much is insane. But I'm all for it. I'm all for about preaching for trade schools. I'm very much on the what is his name? Mike Rowe, the guy who did Dirty Jobs.
Oh yeah.
He's about that all the time. Check him out. Like he speaks the truth. Plumbers make more money than teachers. You know what I mean? Contractors make more money.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, you need to go out. You kids, if you don't want to pursue your education, find a trade school, veterinary tech.
Yeah, John.
Obviously, medical tech. We're gonna need some help there because they keep firing everybody that's in the medical field.
Exactly. I just was also going to, and I'm glad I found this. We're going to flash this on screen. This is from U.S. Snooze. Sorry, U.S. News and World Report, not U.S. Snooze and World Report. We don't want to take naps. But in any event, this is one of the reasons I think why we've seen a decline. The article talks about like a year over year, combined 2 years together, it's dropped 6%, like nationwide in terms of enrollment. That's stunning.
That's drastic.
But here's the thing.
If your bank account slipped 6%, you'd be freaking out.
You'd be freaking out. Now, here's the thing, though. One of the main reasons why is the average tuition. Now, if we're going to be honest with ourselves,
did that go up?
Take a look at this on screen, Johnny. This is unbelievable. You're seeing here the private, you're seeing the public out of state, and the public in-state costs. This is for just one school year.
Wow.
And you
wow.
Multiply that times 4, and especially if you go to a private school or, that kind of a deal, no thank you. No thank you. I'm not walking out of here with like 400, like close to like over 120 grand that I have to pay off in student debt.
Yeah, that's
no thank you. Give me the trade school. Give me something else better to do. Right?
The best, if you don't do a trade and you want to go academically, the state school is the best way to go.
Yeah.
I mean, unless everybody's, rich, and I know my kids are going to state schools. Yeah. So it's
at least gives you a fighting chance.
Yeah, at least you're going to get a little bit of debt, but
yeah. But if you go to, like, let's just say you're in PA and you fly down to Austin, Texas, and you're in the University of Texas at Austin, and that kind of a deal, you're looking on average, I don't know how much the tuition cost is there, but you're looking at $90,000.
I've already looked into it. It's ridiculous. The housing is ridiculous. Like you got to be a millionaire to send your kid.
No question.
Or they're going to live in a ton of debt. I don't mean that is everybody that goes to University of Texas is a millionaire, but their kids are not, that are going there now, that are doing it on their own. They're going to have a lot of debt in their life.
Now, here's the thing. The one question I'll ask you is, with the decrease that's happening over the last 2 years, we've seen a 6% decrease in the amount of college enrollment, John.
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to really hit our economy pretty hard?
I don't think so, because I don't think most people go to school for something that they are inherently going to get into a workforce for. I think the way the schools are designed is you get a degree that might be close to what I'm not talking doctors, lawyers, the basic, the basic. But I think there's a good 2/3 of the population that go to college that don't have a specific degree.
Okay.
So it's not going to hurt the economy, because the economy always feeds from the top to the bottom. The middle doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't.
Yeah.
In this grand scheme, like Walmart, Checkers to lawyers, that's kind of the way it goes. Like if you go specific, or you get with an art degree and you end up working at, a smoke shop or Walmart or something. Normally, what I've seen in the last couple of years is the pay is basic across the board. You get into something that has nothing to do with your degree.
Sure, yeah.
I think that I don't think it affects the economy. Okay. What I do think it affects that more people are saying this and less people are enrolling, which is going to affect the colleges. Yeah. More than it's going to affect the people.
Yeah, because let's face it, that money, now that it's missing, I mean, that, you're going to have to start thinking about cutting back something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And what they're going to do is they're going to start cutting back the amount of money they're putting in the football, the amount of money. And you know what here's the messed up part about colleges, just kind of knowing the landscape of how they work. They're not going to cut collegiate football. You know what they're going to cut? They're going to cut those electives those things that people that aren't ultra athletic, but they want to play a sport, the intramural stuff.
Yeah,
They're gonna cut the people that just want to hang out and have like a chess club. They're gonna cut that off before they cut any of the.
Temple's a great example of that. Temple cut.
Well, they cut baseball.
They cut baseball, and they had a great baseball
bastards. Team. They're bastards for doing that.
Oh, absolutely.
That is terrible, and I can't even believe it. A guy like Ruben Amaro didn't step up because his kid was going to the school for that. Never stepped up and did anything about it. Them cutting baseball is an atrocity.
Yeah. And that was there
that
for years.
That was a chance for inner city Philadelphia, from where I grew up and you grew up, where we could not, I'm not saying us, but us of lesser athletic ability could walk on to a place like Temple and play college baseball. Yeah. But, you know, of course, everybody turns a blind eye to that. That happened.
Yeah, of course, because their main thing was either
angry when that happened. Because you're taking away.
Yeah, exactly. Because the main focus of that university was basketball and football. That was their main focus for the men. Because it draws the most money, gets people to come out more.
But their women's team also drew a lot of money, too.
Right. But the baseball team, okay, you're up at Ambler. Well, I'm not going to Ambler to watch a baseball game. You know, that kind of, even though it was a beautiful stadium up there.
But why not keep it just because you're a school and you should offer programs? When did everything become a corporation? That's my last question. And we could just let that slide into the happy. When did everything become a corporation?
Something to think about. Let's move on to your happy, Johnny, because this, I'm telling you, you had the great opportunity of going to the USS Kidd.
Yes.
Right?
The second time. I'll set the scene a little bit. I traveled as you guys saw, not last episode, but the episode before. I was in a hotel room doing this. I travel for a living, so I had the wonderful experience, as always, to go to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Love hanging out there. It's such a great town. They have the USS Kidd dry dock there. In 2018, it became a Purple Heart ship, which is basically just an indoctrination from the governor. He was just like, it's something. It's on a path. Like you can look it up. It's a Purple Heart tour. It's one of the many things you can tour through the United States. It's a very cool thing. And if you ever get a chance at Baton Rouge, go there. I put a little video together. I'll kind of talk over it a little bit. Just cool things that I saw. But it was awesome. I'll go next year too, hopefully.
There you go. So Johnny, I'll just go ahead and just play it. We have a little bit of background music, but here it is in all of its glory, the USS Kidd, right?
That's actually a picture I just found on their website of it.
So yeah, this kind of talks a little bit about the Purple Heart ship.
Yep. It definitely, if you're watching it, pause it. If not, look it up online.
Yep.
That's a little placard. I just wanted to get that because it's really cool. There's so much that this thing did before it got restored.
Yeah.
It was named after Isaac C. Kidd, Admiral. Here is a great picture coming up of what it looks like. It's a diagram of what it kind of looks like.
From the cross section of the ship right here. So
it's so nice. It's so cool. And then there's a lot of pictures of being uncomfortable when I get inside. It's very small. It's
very tiny.
The only thing I can really, when you're standing in there, you don't have much room.
Look at
That's
that.
the main cannon on the back of the ship. Which just look at that firepower. Guy up there, just boom. That is a depth charge thing. That's what throws the depth charge into the I guess to fight submarines. I don't know anything about war. I just
100%,
love this stuff.
yeah.
That's the dial. I don't know what any of that means, but if you do, please explain it to in comments.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's probably. I wonder if that's by depth charge. I don't know, but yeah, there's the.
That is an actual replica, or not a replica, but a non-charged depth charge. Up there, which is cool. Very cool. That's from the front of the ship. That is one of my favorite. They have a cannon, of course, in the front of the ship.
That's awesome.
That's the anchor and all that. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. And so
that is the room where they plan everything. and it's that small.
I can't even imagine. That's got to be just so tiny. There's just
My
one
phone was up
around it.
against the glass just so you could get that.
This
Looks
I
like
love.
a communication room. That's crazy. Could you imagine working in a space that, like, doing all that? Like, look at it. Dial. I don't even know any of that. This is a buddy I work with. He showed me how their telescope worked, where they could kind of look on the other ships and see their weaknesses.
Yep,
That's what
spot
that
the
was
enemy.
for.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
that was cool. I'm glad that I brought him along because he knows way more about it. There's a little story I'll tell even why these things are going on. So at the end of the ship, they had these nets which didn't exist when it sailed. They were just these metal wires, right? He said when there were big storms, when you were on ship, you had to latch to them so you
Nice.
could do your job. So you were running with one of those carabiners. You would run to the end. You'd have to unlatch in the wind, latch again, and then run another 100 feet, unlatch, latch again.
Oh, jeez.
He was like, there's no way, like you could imagine how crazy that was when a big storm was coming.
Yeah, oh, sure.
You weren't allowed on deck unless you were latched to one of those.
Last year latched on. Yeah.
This is the lieutenant's, that was a lieutenant's where they slept. They slept 3. There was the higher guys. If
Yeah.
you were sardines if you weren't.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is an anti-aircraft gun that he was showing us.
Look at that. This is great because you go right behind it. And this is so cool because it's like you'll be able to kind of just swing right around and look through what they would have looked at. I mean, look at that. You got your little crosshair, Johnny. Look at that. That's just awesome.
That was so light but heavy at the same time. if that
Oh,
makes
I
sense.
bet. Yeah.
Moving around.
Yeah.
That's the Veterans Museum. Links in the bio of their website. Support them if you can. It's amazing place. And then just a little bit on the way out, they have a couple good memorials. My favorite saying, "Every freedom is not free."
Yeah. Love that. I love that. That's just a great, great picture.
And then the last picture is just of this wonderful aircraft.
The A7E Corsair 2. So it kind
Mhm.
of gives a little bit of the stats, how fast it flew, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's, I
Yeah,
guess
the
that's
down
the
and under.
actual, yeah.
It's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
really cool. It was such a good time.
That's awesome, John. Yeah. You gotta love like these old antique, video, all the old battleships from
Oh yeah.
really a bygone era. Really, if you stop to think about it.
If you're in the history and you have one in your area, it's worth it. It's not
Yeah.
expensive, and it's something, especially for kids, and just enjoyment of history.
Yeah.
It's just worth it. Every time I'm in Baton Rouge, I go. So
That's awesome.
It's
Yeah.
right there. It's literally right there on the Mississippi.
That's great. That's great that they preserve that as well. I mean, decommission it obviously.
It's dry docked, so
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
that's a little cooler. I know there's some ships in the Philadelphia ports that you can go check out that aren't dry docked, where you actually feel you're a ship. That's dry docked, so you're just it doesn't feel like you're floating.
That's
Which is
awesome.
good.
That's awesome. No, that's great. That's great stuff. Johnny,
Happy to
that
share.
wraps up episode 56 of Two Noobs Talking. How about that? We got it all done. Just amazing, man, to be able to sit and talk with you and talk all kinds of crap. And
Yeah, exactly. That's all. That's all.
yeah,
It's just us
we
running
did
our
pretty
mouths.
well. So yeah, looking forward already to next week. So yeah, episode 57. But
See, Matt's starting to force us. This is going to come out like every 4 days.
I still don't know how I pulled off the last edits of 55.
Matt literally, just for audio listeners,
Burned the
and
midnight oil in that.
you get all the love. You edited that in 1 day.
Yeah.
Literally 1 day, which is incredible for the edits that you put out now, and that we put out. Incredible to do that in 1 day. It's the reason you're hearing this on a Wednesday. We normally record it on a Saturday. So just so everybody understands, we record it on Saturday, and then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday sometimes is where the edits kind of go, and then it gets up to YouTube and it gets out to Podbean. So it's a long process. But kudos to Matt. We recorded last episode. This is just a little behind the scenes for everybody.
When was it?
On Monday night.
Monday night. Yeah.
And still got it out on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So Kudos to Matt. He deserves all the credit in the world. Also, kudos to me because I had to put the overlay on top.
Exactly.
It took forever.
Wait a minute. There's a 2-person job here, Johnny. I was just going to say. But yeah, we also have to we also have to make sure that, we get Steve, make sure that he loves getting this out. But we all hope
He's
that
on Wednesday. It's the milkman does not need to get beat up.
Exactly right. No, I'm kidding. So, well, why don't we hit him up with our socials before we get the heck out of here, Johnny? As
A little shameless plugs here.
Heck yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so videos sometimes appear on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. The Instagram Reels, Facebook has a thing like that now. YouTube has a Shorts, so there'll be a YouTube Shorts this week.
That's a good idea.
We're moving on to put these little episodes out so we can get it to our main channel.
Yep, and that's of course the YouTube Talking podcast. What am I saying over here? The Two Noobs Talking podcast, which is on YouTube, and of course we would love it if you like, share, and subscribe to our videos. So it gets the word out faster. While I fumble and bubble all over myself, John, go ahead and take it on the audio side.
Awesome. So we'll do audio. If I'm going to fumble and bubble, I'm going to start with Spotify because they suck. We're on there. You can totally listen. If you're listening to us on Spotify, know that Spotify sucks. They're a terrible organization. You probably shouldn't give them money. Go over to Apple or Google Podcasts or even iHeartRadio because all of them are way better than that shitty organization that is
Spotify. Exactly.
Did that work out better?
That's beautiful. I love it. And of course, our show notes are found at the following address. Of course, it's twonoobstalking.wordpress.com. I just remembered that, thank God. Of course, when you enter in your email address there, hit enter. The show notes show up in your inbox the very next day.
You'll get every episode. You'll get every episode, but episode 54 because I deleted it and didn't ask Matt for it and never posted it.
Oh.
So 54.
Well, if you need it again, I can send it. That's not a problem.
We'll try it. We'll work it out.
We'll work it out. But that wraps it up, Johnny. And it's always great to be able to talk with you. Do you have anything final to say before we get the heck out of here?
Yeah, let's go, Brandon, because it's the coolest thing that's going on.
Let's go, Brandon.
Whoever Brandon is, I'm supporting you 100%. Just
absolutely. All right. Talk to y'all next week, guys. Take care.
1.2 billion. So you go ahead and you stack spaghetti sauce at a store and in a supermarket. You control the guy or the woman who brings out the carts on a forklift. What happened?